Hey, welcome back to TMX Brick Notes. Today I've got a special episode for you. I'm going to take you on a tour of what you're looking at is about 40,000 parts in my BrickLink inventory. All right, let's get to it. All right, we're going to do a quick overview of everything first before we go into detail. I'm doing a voiceover because of this.
You're the bestest bears ever!
So when I did the first recording, there was some background noise. That was Tiffany. That was my wife. What you can see here are all the containers where we've sorted it out by part type. The box has instructions and a few other odds and ends. And what's funny about the containers is that they've already been reorganized because of the move, and I'll get into more of that later. But first, a little more background noise.
Beep, 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 beep.
Isn't she cute? I love it. All right, so you can see there's some big bubble mailers and some extra bags. And all of these bags in the corner here are actually bulk bricks. So anytime I get more than 100 of an item, I put it in a separate bag and I throw it into one of these yellow bags. This is how I organize stuff because I'm always on the move and keeping ready to go. A bunch of jewel cases. There are 24 jewel cases. They're parted by color. Okay, so we're getting into the next thing here, and I'm just showing you that I've got like bags of 100. There's tile. This yellow bag's all tile. The one before that was all bricks. And then in the corner, you can imagine there's all sorts of types, all the other different types of bricks. Okay, so now we've got the jewel cases, and this is white. So in the black case, I've got both white and light blue gray. So it's somewhat sorted by color. Then you can see each tray has a different part type. So we've tried to organize it, tiles in a certain group and plates in a certain group, bricks in a certain group. I don't know if you noticed there, but there was tiles 2x8. Tiffany organized this. She did an amazing job, but she didn't realize all of the bricks that are actually made. And then down here, when we run out of bricks and we need a spot for some, we just throw some in here. You can see it's a 1x16 brick. It's the best place for it. This is all the light blue-gray. And that is virtually the same thing. It's just a mirror for the white, the light blue-gray, the black, and then the dark blue-gray. Those are the four most common colors that I have in the store. So we put them in these stack-ons, and that way we're able to get to them easier because we end up using them all the time. Okay, and what you're looking at now is the white case that holds the dark blue-gray. And again, it goes with a tile, 1x1, 1x2. Sometimes you can see I do go ahead and bag them, and that kind of helps things stay organized. If somebody buys a whole lot, I've already got it bagged. Sometimes I'll even take the time to write the number on, but that usually isn't very helpful because it changes so often. You can see I've already scribbled that out a few times since I started doing that. The main thing is just stay organized. No matter how you divide out your parts, you better love to stay organized if you run a BrickLink store. It's even way more important than just having your own personal collection, because with your personal collection, you can throw everything in a bucket. In fact, that's what I've done for the longest amount of time is bricks in their own bucket, plates in their own bucket. But in this case, you got to have all the minifigures and parts, and every single little piece needs to have its own space. Here you can see that my minifigures are all bagged. Some of those are assembled. That's how I used to do it. I took Clutch's advice, and now I don't assemble them, and I actually note that in the store that the minifigs have never been assembled. This drawer has a bunch of random stuff, like a big saw blade. I believe that's from, well, I don't know what that's from, that Disney movie that failed. You guys know what it is, so you can say it. And then sometimes I write the part number. There's so many different variations of parts that you need to just make sure you know where everything's at. All right, we've got some animals there. Just random stuff. As you can see, I'm not doing one lot, one drawer. And a big reason for that is that I don't have as much space. And the big reason for not having space is because I've been on the go. I've moved twice in the last 4 or 5 months now. And because of that, I have condensed my BrickLink inventory, my Lego inventory, into this small space. So I guess what I'm showing you is that you can have an inventory in a small space. You don't have to take up an entire room like you see a lot of YouTubers doing. But keep in mind, this is 40,000 items in about 2,000 lots. And like this one drawer right here has all decorated pieces. Decorated tiles, decorated bricks, decorated slope. So as the inventory grows, it's going to be very difficult to keep track. That's why the way you're seeing other people do it with that one lot, one drawer is the better way. I am not going to challenge that by any means. I'm just saying this way is working for me because of my, I guess, conditions, you'd say. But it does make it a little harder to find stuff. It takes a little more time in some instances, but it works. That's the bottom line. It works, and we don't make mistakes, and we get it done. Here's just all sorts of random containers, and they can take a lot of space, so it really depends on the type of set that I'm buying. There you can see I have the weapons, some of them bagged. Anytime I get a good group of them, that way they're going to be easier to find when I go into this weapons drawer to pull stuff out. Shields are also in there. And continuing just right above that weapons drawer is the tools. And so there you see I kept the tools on the sprue when they came as a group. And of course, part separators. Okay, now onto the jewel cases. 2 containers for white. And you can see in some instances I only have 1 or 2 pieces. But there's still small enough pieces that if I get a lot of them, they don't overflow and take up too much space. I actually have 3 for light blue-gray with these, I call them dots. They're just the 1x1 round stud. I actually numbered it. I've got 54. It helps me keep track. But over here you can see the round tile. I haven't bothered to number those. Now we're going to move on to the containers. Modified plates first. And this is where it gets tough. The one here that's empty I just sold out. It's from the minifigure stands, those black tiles. Got flags in there for some reason, but this should be almost all modified tiles. Here's a great example. These jumpers have the groove. It's a 1x2, and these jumpers don't have a groove. They definitely need to be separated. So all of the pieces are separated by item number or item type. And it makes it organized. It doesn't make it easy to find when you have to go through a whole container full of bags. And now you can see the new way that I'm doing my minifigs, that they're not assembled, but every minifig is bagged on its own. Here we're going to open up a bricks container. That takes up a lot of space. All the 1x4s, obviously this excludes the pieces I showed earlier, the white, black, and the 2 grays. All the 1x1s fit in there, and all the 1x2s, etc. Now anytime I get a large amount, that's when I go off into those yellow bags that you saw in the beginning of the video that were in the corner. And you can see there's a bunch of little random pieces. It's not all just easy 1x2s and 1x4s. There's a bunch of different colors you have to account for. And again, it really depends on what sets you're buying. That's why it's awesome if you can buy a lot of just one set. For instance, if you find a set that you like, buy 10 of them, buy 20 of them. That way your inventory isn't as wide. It doesn't have a large amount of lots. It's going to be a lot easier to store. It may not be the best for buying. Well, cut it away here. First, I want to show an example. If it's already full, that if I don't stack it right, putting it back in, it doesn't even fit. But anyways, again, here we're going to slopes. If you get a lot of lots, if you have a lot of different colors and a lot of different pieces, you may attract more customers, which is wise because you're going to be seen as people search for all these different pieces. But you're going to have to separate things out extremely well and it's going to take a lot more effort than if you have just one set that you continually part out and you get large numbers of those items. Apparently I wanted to do a close-up there on that. I'm not sure why, but again, a quick look in the corner. If anything overflows, it goes into those bags. All these white Walmart bags are my used, so that's a little different. All my used pieces go in these bags. I used to have them in containers, but again, when I moved, this is what happened. So we're looking in a white bag that has all black. So I've separated it into bricks, slopes, plates, and other. So there's those 4 categories. And that's made it a little easier to find things. It's not fun when you have to pull out all these bags, but it is easy. And I know where everything's at. And if Tiffany has to go find something, she can find it also. And you see in the plates bag, we've got how we've got it organized. There's all the 1x plates, all the 2x plates, all the 4x plates, etc. And then in other, there's just so many different genres of item type. Some of the bags contain a whole bunch of the same, or a whole bunch of pieces that are random and don't even match, but it works to find them. And with the used, a lot of the used that I got came from a Craigslist purchase. And just to tell you, when I buy something off Craigslist or anywhere, I actually took the time to run all of these through the dishwasher, get them clean, dry them off, and then put them in these bags. So they're 100% dust free. It just takes a lot of time. And you're saying dishwasher, like, what? How can you do that? Well, I used one of those mesh bags so that the pieces weren't flying all around. I could probably go into a tips video and explain the exact process, but I think you get the idea. The bottom line is the pieces are all clean, and when I get used pieces, I make sure that there's no bite marks or dents or scratches or cuts, or they're not broken. If they are, I either throw them away if they're bad, or I put them in my own personal collection in like a special bucket where I know they're broken, and I might use those pieces like where you can't, like in a mock where you aren't going to see them, maybe underneath or whatever. You know what I'm saying. Okay guys, we're getting close to the end here. I'm just going through the other bag and showing you all the different pieces that are in there, but I want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope this gave you a good idea of what it can be like to run a BrickLink store. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll catch up with you guys later. See ya.